Hi, this is what this one's about. This is part two. My friend Nick Simmons phoned, and that stopped the video from happening. So I want to go on about policing. And you know, it's a terrible job. Police officers have the job of dealing with society's mistakes, the Piscean age mistakes. They get the dirty work. And I don't think they get enough appreciation. It's a terrible job. A lot of them have to wear these police belts, and I was lucky enough to be able to wear one without the gun. And the damn thing weighs a ton, and it throws police officers back out. They're kind of in constant pain. And at the end of shifts, they're so fried you wouldn't believe it, because they've got to be hyper alert all the time. Sympathetic nervous system, adrenaline, all that kind of stuff, and they're taught how to maintain that. My friend Dove Crawford and her pals are teaching, and her husband are teaching officers and first responders how to let that energy go and relax without drinking or messing up or just being so wired that they're cruel to their kids. I had a friend by the name of Bruce, and he went to teachers training college with me, and he couldn't make enough money being a teacher, so he got a job as a police officer. He's a big guy, been a hockey player. And you know, I used to see him, we lived in the same building, and I used to see him come home from work sometimes, and I remembered we would sit there and have a beer, and he would just talk about these god-awful things that he'd gone through, like having people laugh at him when he was crying about leaned up against the cruiser because he'd been dealing with a little girl the same size, the same coloring, everything as his daughter, and he just broke down and cried, and he was ridden for it. Or my friend Johan Vink, and Johan joined the police force because he wanted to do good, and all police forces, all policemen, I think they sign up for that. And then, they're ordered to do things that are against their nature. And they get frightened because there's some, a lot of people are trying to frighten them. And a lot of people aren't present and are doing really dumb things. And it's their job to protect other people's freedom, to protect people who own things and protect everybody. And it's an impossible job. Because the police are trying to do what we all should be doing, policing ourselves. Like saying, hey, I realize that if I do that, it'll hurt somebody else, or it'll stop somebody else from being able to do what they want to do. And so my heart goes out to anybody who is suffering. Like the people who are protesting are feeling like, and I've been a protester on like marching. I've been, pushed over by police horses, and I was terrified, and the horse was terrified, and the officer was terrified, and it's like it's coming to a stop. We're figuring out how to do this. It's like we're figuring out how to educate kids virtually. What do kids really need? They don't need a lot of the crap that's going on. They need things like, how to be happy, how to solve problems, how to communicate, how to get along, like how to make room for differences. And that's what I'm praying for. And I'm enjoying the thought that it's coming. It's coming all over the world. You know, I have someone very dear to me, and his wife who's dear to me, living in Hong Kong. And you know, it's crazy there. It's crazy all over the world. And it's like it's time to just relax. Like, let's see one another. Let's be empathetic with one another. Let's say, hey, I can be compassionate with your pain and suffering. And that's why I'm happy to see so many people doing this symbolic, I take a knee, I'm in solidarity. And I'm hurting, and you're hurting, and I acknowledge that. I don't hear too much I'm hurting yet. People are still ashamed of hurting. And we've got to get over that. We've got to get over the shame of feeling guilty. We've got to learn to atone, make amends. And go for redemption, like be different. Like, okay, I screwed up. Who hasn't screwed up in this life? Nobody. And you know, we're all doing the best we can with what's in front of our plate. And I'll tell you, my friend Johan Vink, he got ridden hard in the police force. So hard they pushed him out. Because he was trying to keep his heart open as a police officer. And when he would be kind to somebody that his bosses thought that should be pushed to the ground, they gave him a tough time. They gave him miserable things to do. So we've all got to kind of, especially the gray hairs, you know, the old guard. We've got to learn some new tricks. And elders, we've got to speak up. Oh, listen to me, I'm ranting. I'm sorry. But I don't know what else to do with my pain. I don't know what else to do with just feeling so sad that so many people are in such pain and suffering. And I can't do anything about it except make these silly videos. So I hope you find this interesting, and please figure out how you can put your pain and suffering and hopes and strengths and courages and everything out there. You know, I don't want to cause anybody any harm by these videos, but I realize there are probably people that will be pissed off, and I hope eventually they can be compassionate with me, that I'm trying my best. And this is it today. So bless you, and Costco. Keep on staying calm and carrying on. That was a saying that came in a dream. I don't know, somebody else probably dreamt it up. So keep on staying calm, carrying on, okay? And please protect one another, no matter which side of any line that you are. You know, I know. I talked to police officers who've been, you know, hitting people, and they felt crappy afterwards. I mean, they had to pretend like, oh yeah, there's another day's work, and I whacked the guy over the head and everything. But at the end of the day, they were, oh God, what a miserable job. I've got pals who are border patrol guys in Arizona, and you know, one of them told me that many of the wives go down to the office to collect the paycheck because their partners were taking the paycheck and going out and buying food and water for the people who were trying to escape from you know, suffering and all kinds of stuff in their home countries. So I hope this leads to some compassion for people who are dependent on their livelihood, on their having food on their table and paying their bills, having the dirty job of keeping the peace. And peace is different to a lot of people. Some people, the only peace is the peace that they can just do whatever they want to do. And so we've got to start. Well, we are. Not we gotta, we are. We're already started sharing and looking out for one another. So take it easy. Thank you very much for watching. It gives me something to do and something useful to do. Hopefully it's useful.